Welcome! And today's episode, we're going to talk about Flash Thompson, Agent Venom. We're going to talk about his hero mechanic, what makes him unique, all of his signature cards, a quick review. We're going to talk about his PreCon and how we can enhance this experience using only the core box and the cards that come with his hero pack. And then finally, we're going to talk about the hero packs that can enhance his gameplay experience. You're listening to Beyond the PreCon from Play the Game with Steve. All right, so guys, if you like this new approach with a calmer, more relaxed venue, please give it a comment, give it a like. This is going to be the second video like this that I've made, so let me know if you like the transition or if you wanted me to be more exuberant like I used to be. Just let me know. I am also rocking my Venom shirt because it's awesome, and Venom is awesome. So let's take a look at Flash Thompson. He's got a recovery of 4. He is a soldier, and he has a hand size of 6 with 12 hit points. He does have a passive ability that says you can control an additional upgrade that has the restricted keyword. So remember, restricted means we can only have 2 restricted items per character. And he has an ability called Armed and Ready, which is part of the setup. So setup is happening after the mulligans, which says discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a weapon upgrade and add that card to your hand. So that's pretty cool. So you do get a 7th card as Flash Thompson. When he transforms into Agent Venom, or just Venom, he is a Guardian and a Space Knight with 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense, hand size of 5. And he has that still passive ability that says you can control an additional upgrade, but also has an ability of a resource, which is fine because resources you can do in the hero phase and in the villain phase, and it's Symbiotic Bond. Take 1 damage and generate a wild resource. Now, this is very important. You absolutely must take the 1 damage. So if ever you have a way to get tough, you will not be able to use Symbiotic Bond. So that's a little bit of rules for this. Now, Venom, that's a very cool and unique ability to Venom. Now, let's take a look at his signature cards and what makes him amazeballs. All right, the first card of his kit that you definitely want to find out early in the game is Project Rebirth 2.0. This will allow you to either draw a card or heal 3 damage from Flash Thompson. Very, very useful, especially that he will want to be taking some damage when he's in hero form. All right, after that, we have his Spider Sense, which is cool because then it gives him the same abilities as Peter Parker Spider-Man, which whenever the villain initiates an attack against you, you get to trigger your Spider Sense and draw a card, which is great. And then he's got his weapons. So he's got his 2 Venom pistols, which are restricted, which give him a +1 to one of his basic powers when he decides to use it. So if you have 1 pistol, you can increase your thwart, attack, or defense by 1. If you have both pistols, you can increase it by 2. So he can thwart for 3, attack for 4, or defend for 4. So that's very, very cool. So he's very, very unique in the fact that he can be good in all of the main aspects, which is, aggression, protection, or even justice. He can really get some work done. So the versatility of this character is amazing. Also, then he has his ultimate weapon, which is the multi-gun, and this has 3 abilities on it. It is also restricted, but it does say deal 2 damage to an enemy, or choose a player to deal a damage to each minion engaged with that player, or remove 2 threat from a scheme. Now that's really good because if there's a whole bunch of enemies with tough, you can just ping off a whole bunch of toughs from something that's engaged with one of the players. And what's cool about it is if you defeat those enemies with the multi-gun, it is all part of your hero. So all of those would be count towards you defeating them. So very, very cool. All right, now let's take a look at some of his other signature cards. So Locked and Loaded, again, cool card, allows you to search your deck for an upgraded weapon or a weapon upgrade and add it to your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. So this only lets you look inside your deck. So if you have discarded all of your weapons, don't play this card because not good. All right, aside from that, then he's got Behind Enemy Lines. So now he's got access to Stun and Confuse, which is really good with the Behind Enemy Lines. And if you played It removes 3 threat, and if you played it with 2 mentals, which is great because you can use your symbiotic bond to generate a mental, so you only need 1 more, and then you get to remove 3 threat from a scheme, and then you get to confuse an enemy. Great for allowing you to go down with Project Rebirth and then come back. Then he's got his Savage Attack, which says deal 5 damage, and if you paid with 2 energy resources, again, you can always pay with Symbiotic Bond, and then you get Overkill, 5 damage with Overkill, which is a good attack. And then finally, this is a good defense card, which is called Grasping Tendrils. Now, it's a hero interrupt and defense. When the villain initiates an attack against you, you can cancel that attack, and if you paid for this card using only physicals, you get to stun the villain. Now, what is cool about this, and there's a cool interaction with your Spider Sense, is what you can do is, since they're both hero interrupts, you can decide the order you want to interrupt in. So you can draw a card first, and then if you draw into Grasping Tendrils, then you can cancel his attack. So that is very unique to Venom. It's kind of a little bit better than Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, if you cancel, the villain doesn't attack you or doesn't initiate that attack against you, you don't actually get to draw the card. So the Grasping Tendril kind of bypasses that activation, which is very, very solid. And then he has his really, really fun card called the Run and Gun, which allows you to ready Venom in each weapon upgrade you control. So again, allowing you to use your multi-gun and your 2 pistols 1 more time. And if you have more weapons, then you can use those other weapons too. So very, very cool, very unique design. Super, super fun. Again, so you want to be taking damage. It's an extra resource every turn. So technically, Venom has 8 cards on turn 1, or 8 resources to play with on turn 1. So he's very quick to set up fast. So now let's take a look. He comes in the Justice aspect. I do like him in Justice. I think he's a little bit better in Aggression. But Justice is very, very thematic for him and with a lot of control. So now let's take a look at what it looks like and then how we can enhance that PreCon. So the fun thing about the Venom Hero Pack is we only get 5 reprints, and those are just the double resources, the double Powers of Justice, and the 3 double gray resources, which is pretty interesting. For new cards, we get more weapons, which is very thematic to Venom. So we get 3 sonic rifles, which is it's a tech weapon that allows you to confuse the villain twice, which is amazing for every Justice deck. It's almost now a staple or an auto-include in most Justice decks. Scare Tactics, which deals 3 damage to confuse enemies. So ways to deal damage in Justice, which is always important. Making an Entrance, which allows you to give a +2 thwart to a basic thwart. And if you remove the last threat, you get to heal for 2. So now we have healing in Justice, which is great. It allows you to stay in hero mode longer. We have the ally Jack Flag, who's kind of like a new version of Daredevil, which he thwarts, and then he puts an ammo counter, and then you can use the ammo counter to deal 2 damage. So kind of interesting the way he works. Kind of a weird Daredevil type effect. So it's 2, and then the next turn it's 2 damage. So 2 thwart, 2 damage. 2 thwart, or you can thwart twice, and just build up these damage counters when you actually need them. So there's fun ways to interact with this character. Then we have the Side Holster, which is a great 0-cost upgrade that allows any character to add an additional weapon upgrade that has the restricted character. So everyone gets the Venom ability to have +1 restricted. So that's very interesting with certain deck builds that have multiple restricted items. Then we have Resourcefulness. This is a card that we saw in Hulk's hero kit, but it was came back here. And then we have Plasma Pistol, which is another new card. This is another restricted item, and it's another weapon. And then we have Star-Lord, which is a gray ally with 2 thwart, 2 attack, and ranged. But you do get an encounter card when he comes into play. So a very interesting deck, very, very thematic. So again, what you want to be doing here is you want to definitely put a Side Holster. You want to kind of thin out his deck. The plasma pistols are good if the villain is tough and then you're trying to, do a big attack swing. So having a plasma pistol is not a bad idea, but the sonic rifles are always obviously better, so you can confuse the villain. And if he's already confused, you can deal 3 damage. And then healing, and then you can use scare tactics. So there's all these cool combinations of cards that you can play around with the Venom deck that is already very, very powerful. So how would I enhance this with the cards just that the PreCon is giving us? All right, so the first cards I would remove from this is a couple of side holsters, because you only need 1 in your deck. So I would remove these 2 cards. I would also remove Star-Lord. As much as I like him as a character, I don't like him as a I don't really like that +1 encounter card just to get a 2-cost ally with range. If he didn't take any consequential damage, then I'd be like, okay, it's worth it. But now, because of that, I don't. Also, the scare tactics, I don't mind it, but I'm like, it's for 3 damage. I can do better than just for 1 cost. So, even with the Justice, like Venom's cards deal damage. He can deal some damage. He doesn't really need extra cards to deal damage. Also, these plasma pistols, I would only keep 1 because it has the restricted keyword. I like it. For me, it's because I'm going to be playing sonic rifles. I might not even play 1, but I don't want to discard too many cards from my deck. So keeping a few extra ones are there. So I think I removed 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. I think I'll just remove 10 cards here. The resourcefulness, we'll keep 1 in the deck. It's, like I said, it's a cheap upgrade. We can keep it there. And if ever we need it, we go. All right, so what are we adding? So in Justice, we're going to be adding Heroic Intuition, obviously, to bring our thwart up. We're going to add 3 surveillance teams. Again, this is only to be able to trigger cards like Making an Entrance, and then just use them as need be for deck thinning. Because we want to see our run and guns, we want to see our grasping tendrils, we want to see our behind enemy lines more frequently. So by getting rid of all these cards, these permanent cards, we're always sure to get those. Then to complement Jack Flag, I just bring in Daredevil. Then I want more card draw and more resources. So Avengers Mansion and Helicarrier is what I would add in. Plus 2 first aids. Obviously, I want to try to keep Jack Flag and Daredevil healthy. And then finally, just add a little Nick Fury for some more card draw. And you have a very well-rounded deck that should be able to take on most expert scenarios fairly simply. All right, so that is the strategy of this deck. Which I really, really enjoy. If you want, I would suggest a couple cards for an aggressive build, but again, you need more than hero packs. But Venom can be really fun in aggression, but you're going to need to get in a few hero packs to make him more interesting for the deck build. All right, so now let's go check out what hero packs are going to enhance your game experience with Mr. Venom. All right, so before we talk about the hero packs that I think really enhances gameplay experience, some of his bonus cards really do that as well. So Fusillade in Aggression is a great card where you get to exhaust a weapon upgrade that you control to deal 5 damage to an enemy, which is really good and can combo off with some of the cards we're going to look at. So keep this in mind. Then we have Welcome Aboard, which is a very cool card for leadership, which reduces the cost of the first ally played. So even with the core box is a really nice combo that you can play with Vision, making him cost 2, and then using the symbiotic bond to generate a lightning resource to give him +2 every turn for the cost of 1 damage, which I think is really, really good. And then we have cards like Crew Quarters, which allows us to heal and recover and play under any player's control. Very fun to heal an alter ego, so +1 heal, always good. And the only non-synergistic card in his deck is the Shake It Off, again, because if he takes damage, okay, but then if you won't be able to activate that symbiotic bond. So that's the only kind of weird interactions with his bonus cards, but every other bonus card in his kit is phenomenal. All right, so this was kind of a toss-up between the first 2 choices. One is Aggression, the other one is Justice. I went with Aggression. I do believe that there's just a little bit better cards in this hero pack that really enhances experience, and that is in the Thor hero pack. We haven't seen Thor in a lot of recommendations, but in this one, it really fits the bill. One, because of cards like Yonborn. So and then a great synergy again is you can do an attack and then you can use the symbiotic bond to pay for that physical resource and deal an extra 2 damage. So take a damage to deal 2 extra damage. I think it's a really cool combo. Also, you also have cards like Mean Swing, where you can exhaust a weapon you control. So he already has like 3 or 4. So you can use your pistols to not only get +1 attack, but you can also use them for +3 attack. So that becomes really, really interesting with Venom and the Mean Swings. Then you get obviously cards like Hall of Heroes that allows you to draw lots of cards. And if you want to see a deck where I kind of use that with the Venom, we played with Nelson, the Living Card Gamer, or I think it's Nelson all over now, so I forget what. I'm sorry, Nelson, I can't remember what the name of the channel is. He just changed it. But yeah, so you can check out that. And we played a game together, and yes, it was very, very fun. Then you have card like Battle Fury, where you kill a minion, you take a damage, you get to ready. So what's cool about it is you can, if you've used one of your weapons, you can still ready up and use your other weapons to still do a big thwart event or something like that. And then also, if you like him in Justice, well, you get the Under Surveillance. And if you like Venom in Leadership, you also get the Teamwork card, which is kind of interesting, where you can kind of double up on these or increase his power level a little bit. So that's a lot of cards from the Thor hero pack that really, really enhance his experience. The next one I would highly recommend is the Nebula pack. This is more for a Justice build. So again, you have cards like Justice Served, which if you remove all the threat, when you think about the making an entrance, you can, remove the threat and then get back up. You get the One Ways or Another to get more card draw and get a side scheme, which you can deal with pretty easily in solo play. You get Eros, because then you can pay one of his symbiotic resources to generate one of the mentals and confuse a minion. You got Wraith, which is another great card, and then you got some great deck thinning cards like Honorary Guardian. But here's the good thing, is you also get a card like Energy Spear, which combos with his signature card, his hero kit card, Fusillade. So somebody pointed out, wow, I never thought about that combo. So you can Energy Spear attach this to a Guardian ally, and then the Guardian ally does his thing, and then you can use the Spear and exhaust the Spear, because it is a card you control, to do 5 damage without having to exhaust your weapons. So that is super, super sweet combo here with that from the Nebula pack. And then finally, making his another appearance, shockingly enough, the Hulk hero pack. Correct. He's my third choice. One is because, again, with the Grasping Tendrils allowing you to stun the villain, you get an easy card. You get an easy 5 damage with toe to toe. Yes, you won't draw off the card, but if you're in your hero phase and you play that, it just makes perfect sense. Then you get Martial Prowess that allows you to generate more resources. And then you get the Drop Kick, which allows you to, again, take advantage of stun. And then you also get the Beat Cop if you like Justice. So, again, a lot of good cards here in the Hulk hero pack to enhance Venom. Then, honorary mentions, it's going to be Scarlet Witch, the hero pack, with 2 cards. One is Turn the Tide and Multitasking. Because of the symbiotic bond, you always guaranteed to get your mental resource. And then finally, the honorable mention goes to Gamora, only for 1 card. It is the Godslayer. Godslayer is, I don't really like that upgrade with any other hero but Venom. Because of his run and guns, he also gets to ready the Godslayer. It does limit you to having 4 weapons, so your multi-gun and your 2 pistols and the Godslayer, but then you get to attack with those as well. So you get to run and gun with this, which is an extra 2 damage against a unique enemy. So it becomes more interesting with Venom, because you can use it maybe twice in a turn. So then that's an extra 4 damage so that makes a little bit more sense. So that's my reasoning for that last include. So those are the hero packs that I suggest. So guys, as you can see, Venom is a very self-contained hero. He He has pretty much everything he needs in his just his hero kit and the core set. But if you, like I said, if you really want to enhance his experience, take a look at those hero packs that can really upgrade that. So that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep on playing Marvel Champions, and I hope you will use Venom to play the game, and I'll see you next time. This was Beyond the PreCon. Play the game with Steve. Ciao, ciao.